So in Skylanders Swap Force, we have 32 new unique characters, 16 Swap Force characters, and 16 new core characters. But one of the things we're really excited about is honoring the value of players' existing collections. So every single character, every single toy from Skylanders Spyro's Adventure and Skylanders Giants will be fully playable in Skylanders Swap Force. So that essentially is over 100 different types of toys that will be fully playable in Swap Force and really provide a lot of replayability. And it's something that, again, really is fan-driven. We know the fans really put a lot of investment and time into leveling up these characters, really investing in their collections. So it's really important to us to honor those collections, and that's why we have them carry forward. And one of the other things we're doing this year, because of the innovation of dynamic swappability, is introducing a new portal that provides the support for the ability to play with the Swap Force characters, which you can freely interchange with the tops and bottoms between those two characters. So one of the new features that we have in Skylanders Swap Force is what we're calling Swap Force Zones and Swap Force Powers. So each Swap Force character will have an associated Swap Force power, and there will be 8 of these power types in total, such as Climb, or Rocket, / Flying, or Stealth, or Dig. And it really is going to add a new level of gameplay and really mix up the experiences in the game. For example, we're having in each level a series of what we're calling Swap Force Zones, which are centered around these new gameplay mechanics. And so for a character like Washbuckler, who appears in our starter pack, he's a member of the Climb ability. And so if you take him and enter into a climbing zone, a climbing Swap Force zone, all of the gameplay, this experience that you have in this zone is all based on this mechanic of climbing and different experiences and different rewards that you'll get at the end that's based on that ability. The same will be true for a rocket zone, where you can actually fly through different scenarios and objectives and earn rewards that way. Same for stealth zones, same for dig zones. So it really is going to add a lot of replayability, a lot of different experiences within the gameplay, within these different zones. And it's really cool. And so one of the things we're also doing is on the toy side, we actually have different emblems, these different symbols that you'll see on the base of the toy. So you immediately know which Swap Force power that character has. And so that'll match up with what you see in the game. So as soon as you go up to a Swap Force zone in game, you'll see that image. Let's say it's the ladder, which represents Climb, for example. You'll see the Washbuckler has that image on the bottom of his toy. And so you know that you can bring him into that zone. Or even if you have just his bottom half, you can still go into that zone. So the story in Skylanders Swap Force does take place after Spyro's Adventure and Giants. Chaos, our main villain, is back, and like before, he's got this grand plan to take over Skylands by evilizing, as we call it, this magic volcano which erupts every 100 years and replenishes the magic in Skylands. And this volcano is located in the Cloudbreak Islands, which is this new place that we're taking you to in the game. So in Spyro's Adventure, he tried to take over by spreading darkness. In Giants, he tried to raise this Archean robot army, and now he's back to actually bring the darkness back into Skylands by evilizing this volcano and erupting darkness throughout the land. The starter pack in Skylanders Swap Force features 3 new characters, 2 new Swap Force characters, Washbuckler, who's this really cool octopus pirate, and another character called Blast Zone, and he's this really cool, awesome Fire Knight. And so out of the box, you'll get the dynamic swappability feature, and then we're also including the Series 3 version of Stealth Elf, who is one of our fan favorite characters. And in this incarnation of her, we actually are referring to as Ninja Stealth Elf. So she has a new toy deco in her new ninja garb, and she will also feature a new Wow Pow upgrade based on this new ninja ability that will be accessible at the end of her upgrade chain. So the way upgrades work on the Swap Force toys in particular, which have 2 separate halves, is that there's a separate upgrade path on both the top half and the bottom half. So unlike the core toys, which have their own full unique upgrade path, we have actually, I guess you could say, 2 upgrade paths, one for the top half, one for the bottom half. They're both unique. And then in terms of the other character data, like your nickname or the character level, things like that, that's actually stored on the top half of the toy. So we still have that portability and that sort of personal connection that kids will have with their characters as they store all of that data and earn experience and all those things. And then in particular with the upgrade paths specifically, we have these separate paths that are on each half of the toy. So I'm happy to say hats are back in Skylanders Swap Force. They are this really cool element that we introduced in the previous games and really add a level of personalization and customization, and we know fans really appreciated them. So Most of the hats, in fact, I think all of the hats are back for Swap Force, and we have a whole range of new hats. I can't remember the exact number, but it's somewhere in the neighborhood of, I think, 30 to 40 new hats. So definitely lots of hats available. And the way you'll access them is either through our player store. We'll also have them available as rewards in the different kinds of zones that we have. So in the elemental zones in Skylanders, Spiral's Adventure, and Giants, those were the key reward. You'd find the present at the end of those zones, and those were the special reward. This year, we're actually mixing it up a little bit, and we're going to populate the hats as well as other special rewards in the new types of zones that we have as well. So you'll find hats in elemental zones, or you'll find them maybe perhaps at the end of a dual elemental zone, which is something new, or maybe at the end of these Swap Force zones, which is another new type of zone that we're introducing this year in the game. So in Skylanders Swap Force, we will be seeing Series 3 toys. We will have a lot of new fan favorites returning, and it's really cool because one thing we did on Skylanders Giants is not only provide something that was different on the toy side, where the toy was basically a reposed character and they had new features on the toy side, but we also introduced something that we called the Wow Pow, which was a new upgrade that you could access at the end of those characters' upgrades change. So in the Swap Force game, we're introducing these Series 3 toys, and some of them are returning favorites that we haven't seen before, and some are returning favorites that are back for basically a third round with another new reposed and sort of, deco change on the toy side, but also featuring a new Wow Pow upgrade that's going to be at the end of their upgrade chain. Yeah, one of the fun things that we did at the end of Skylanders Giants was have a little tease at the end of the credits where we basically teased that Chaos's mother has showed up. So everyone can stay tuned. That's going to be something that we will be introducing a little ways down the road, but we will be seeing Chaos's mother in the game.